Next on Worcester News tonight, a Worcester man in the right place at the right time to save a young girl outside in freezing temperatures. Plus, a glimpse of spring in the middle of winter. A floral tradition is back at the Worcester Art Museum. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Olivia Lemon. It was a wet and windy day across central Massachusetts. A flash flood watch remains in effect until 1 a.m. Much of the snow we saw over the weekend is melting, causing even more of a potential for flooding across the city. Our Cam Jandro is live in Auburn tonight and joins us now with more on what he's seeing. Cam.
Olivia, it's steadily raining, and it has been for pretty much the entire day. Mix that with the warm temperatures. Our car thermometer is reading right around 50 degrees. So what that means is all of the snow that we received over the weekend is melting and working its way down with this rain. We're right on Route 20, and if you have a look behind me, you can see right behind the TJ Maxx there is a serious flood. A lot of cars having a hard time getting through, and when they do get through, they're making these massive waves. It's making it quite difficult for them to drive. Again, raining pretty hard here in central Massachusetts. We'll have a look at the forecast later on in this show. That's it for now in Auburn tonight. I'm Cam Jandro, Worcester News Tonight.
All right, thank you, Cam. And for more on this wild January rainstorm, we bring in meteorologist Tim Kelley with the first look at the forecast.
What a storm. It extends all the way down, went through Miami with severe weather in South Florida. Behind it, there's cooler but not frigid air. The frigid air is north of Chicago, and it's going to be right on our doorstep. Today, anything but frigid. The record high for today, 59 at the Worcester Airport. From 1999, we fell just short of that. Meanwhile, off to our west, it's been snowing in parts of New York. We picked up 1 3/4 inches of rainfall. A ½ inch of rain fell between 2 and 3 o'clock, and our wind at the airport only gusted to about 45, 50 miles an hour. I say only because at the Blue Hill Observatory just south of Boston, elevation lower than the Worcester Airport, we gusted to 80 miles an hour today. Well, the rain and the wind are shutting down. There's a little mixed rain and snow to our north, but temperatures are going to cool off only gradually. By midnight, now we're getting to freezing. Many of the main roads are going to dry out, but there's a lot of flooding going on in the lower elevations, and some of the roads may be icy tomorrow morning. The fields are certainly going to be icy. With a mixture of sun and clouds, we're in the low 20s. Tomorrow is a quiet day, not too windy. Only about 30 degrees at lunchtime on top of the hill. It's a case where up in the sky it's going to be a little colder. And there are some snow flurries around tomorrow evening with a colder front. Saturday is freezing but mostly dry. We'll have the 10-day forecast quite active in the long run in a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Tim. A 2-year-old girl is safe thanks to the actions of a Worcester man. He noticed her outside in freezing cold temperatures early Wednesday morning and moved fast to get her out of the elements. Our Chandler Walsh spoke with the man today and joins us now with the story. Chandler. Olivia, Ashton Mazik doesn't know how long the girl was outside before he found her. She's doing okay, but with hypothermia and frostbite dangers, things could have been worse if she wasn't found by a caring neighbor.
I'm just glad I was at the right place at the right time.
Lyft driver Ashton Mazik was returning to his Lincoln Village apartment at 3 in the morning when he saw a 2-year-old girl alone in the cold outside his building.
I just picked her up. I told her she was safe. I asked her name. She couldn't get out much because she was shivering.
Mazik says it was about 15 degrees and the girl wasn't wearing a coat or shoes. Ice and rock salt encrusted on her feet. The 28-year-old brought her inside, calling his mom from upstairs to help.
I ran downstairs, and by the time I got to him, he was getting on the elevator. She had been crying, but after Ashton picked her up, she stopped crying. I think she was just happy that somebody found her.
Mazik also works as a behavioral therapist for children with autism. He says his experience helped him make the girl feel comfortable. He and his mom wrapped her in heated towels, rubbed her feet, and called police from inside their apartment.
Even by the time the police got here, she was still shivering.
Worcester police say the girl's mother was working overnight and staying with her grandmother. The 2-year-old somehow woke up and figured out how to get out of the house.
If you held her feet, it felt like holding ice. It was just that cold.
Earlier this month, a young New Hampshire girl died from exposure after being outside in sub-zero temperatures overnight.
I'm just so happy it didn't turn out the same way.
Vita Mazik says she doesn't like when her son works late at night, but this time it was a blessing. Police say the child was treated at the hospital and is doing okay. For Ashton, it's all that matters.
I was just so grateful, so thankful that she was able to be safe, be inside, and be with people that, would do their best to care for her.
Police say the girl was picked up by her family at the hospital. For the Maziks, picturing her in the cold still bothers them. Chandler Walsh, Worcester News Tonight. 3 central Massachusetts towns are coming together Friday night to help the daughter of a fallen firefighter. The Towns of Love for Ava Roy is a fundraiser benefiting the 9-year-old daughter of Worcester firefighter Christopher Roy. Roy was killed in the line of duty in December. The event is being organized by firefighters, state leaders, and community volunteers from Shrewsbury, Northborough, and Westborough. They say the event will feature food, drinks, music, and a silent auction.
It's 2 pages. There's Ava, his 9-year-old daughter, is a student here at Shrewsbury Public Schools, and the community, under the direction of State Representative Hannah Kane, wanted to do something to support Ava.
I think then and there we had our mind set up. We were going to do as much as we could between schools and fire department and all Hannah's connections and all the townspeople that wanted to help out, that we would help somehow organize it.
And tickets can be bought at the door. So far, close to 300 have already been sold. The event is Friday night from 7 to 11 p.m. at Moronis Park in Shrewsbury. Senator Michael Moore says he supports new legislation establishing a military code of justice and increased service pay for the National Guard. Moore joined Governor Baker and other state leaders for the ceremonial signing of the bill. It will update existing laws in relation to the National Guard. Moore says in particular the law increases the minimum daily pay for soldiers and airmen performing state active duty from $100 to $200 per day. This increase now makes the statewide minimum pay in Massachusetts the highest in the nation. If you're looking for a way to escape the winter blues, Flora and Winter has returned to the Worcester Art Museum. And as our Gretchen LaRosa explains, the showcase features dozens of art-inspired floral displays throughout the building.
I've heard the old expression, April showers bring May flowers. Well, today in Worcester, January showers bring a floral extravaganza you'd have to see to believe.
There's such a magic about flowers, right? And it's, again, especially this time of year. This is our 17th Flora in Winter. We have people who have come every year.
Flora in Winter is the Worcester Art Museum's largest annual event. There are 24 arrangements. Each is an interpretation of a portrait, a painting, or a sculpture in the museum.
Oh, this is my favorite thing of the whole year. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. The museum will be full of flowers.
Weather outside is rainy and kind of cold and gloomy, but you walk in here and it's just sunny and full of flowers. You can smell the fragrance.
Frost expects more than 6,000 visitors over the next 4 days. These women, who came all the way from Cape Cod to see the exhibit, call the arrangements Sunshine on a Rainy Day.
It's nice to see, well, it's been dreary and it's cold, and it's just nice to see flowers, and it perks everybody up.
Everybody's, imagination is just endless.
Additional displays are inspired by a Claude Monet theme this year.
Flora coincides with the opening of a really wonderful special exhibition called Monet's Waterloo Bridge. That opens on Friday the 25th.
It's the warmth most visitors are looking for this time of year. The exhibit takes place throughout the weekend, and for more information, you can visit their website at worcesterart.org. Gretchen LaRosa, Worcester News Tonight.
Governor Charlie Baker files a new bill aimed at keeping drivers safe on the roads. Baker's bill includes multiple safety measures, including requiring drivers to be hands-free. This means drivers would not be allowed to hold or touch their phones except a single tap to activate, deactivate, or initiate hands-free mode. 16 other states have similar laws. President of CMSC Auto School Tim Cooney says this bill is long overdue.
I think too many people have already lost their lives because of cell phones. So it's a shame that we have to do it, and I think police have the authority to pull people over even without the cell phone law. A person's always got to have their car under control.
And another issue brought up in the bill is police should be able to pull people over for not wearing a seatbelt. Drivers in Massachusetts are required under law to wear a seatbelt or face a fine, but currently police cannot pull drivers over just for a seatbelt violation. They have to have another reason.
Well, the seatbelts law and bill has been kicked around for years, and there's an awful lot of confusion about it. And I can see the benefit to it, but it's a shame that we have to do it. At one time, we had the worst rating in the country. We were 50th, according to some surveys that were done.
And the proposal would also expand the use of ignition interlocks, lower speed limits in construction zones, and regulate electrical scooters and bicycles. The bill will go to the legislature for consideration. Mass DOT in Worcester Wednesday discussing the future look of the Kelley Square Improvement Project. During the workshop, ideas for landscaping and streetscaping were discussed. Mass DOT asked for the public input on things like the width of sidewalks, what color the sidewalk should be, and should there be benches and/or designated places where people can gather. District Highway Director Barry Lorian says they're here to get input and feedback from the public in order to incorporate those suggestions into the project.
Permanent material to have a curb right beside the sidewalk.
Why not put those choices to the people, to the users that are going to be there every day, be it in Kelley Square every day. So the feedback that we've gotten at the first two workshops and today has and will absolutely influence the outcome of the project.
And construction on the Kelley Square Improvement Project is expected to break ground in October. From trash to treasure, students at a Central Massachusetts tech school are testing their skills repairing a totaled vehicle their school will eventually put back on the roads. Our Brittany Schaefer joins us live now with more. Brittany.
Olivia, students at Bay Path Regional Vocational Technical High School are working to repair the van. The school says that this will give them a real-world opportunity that will help prepare them for their careers. The keys to a Ford Transit van are handed over to the superintendent of Bay Path Regional Vocational Technical High School, but there's a catch. Students in the auto collision repair program will have to use what they've learned to repair the totaled vehicle.
It's a good repair to learn on. It's a safe repair, so it'll be a nice donation for them, and it'll work well for the skills people for a lot of years.
We thought, what an outstanding partnership to give them some live work on a late model vehicle. It's going to be an invaluable resource for them.
Students like Dominic Berthium will be working on the van. He says it's a great opportunity to learn more about his future career.
Being a school, you don't always get all the amazing jobs that you're going to see in the field, but that van is as close as I've seen to live work out in the real world.
The program is also in partnership with Skills USA, which helps prepare students for the workforce. Executive Director Karen Ward says the van will also be put to good use when all the repairs are done.
We do a lot of service programs, bringing our students out into the community, and we do a lot of school visits, training programs at schools, and obviously we need a way to get there.
Berthium is graduating this year and says with the help of his school, Skills USA, and the new van, he knows he will go far in his career.
I get to support myself and at the same time do what I love. I can't ask for any more. I mean, they set me up for success. They just sent me on my way.
Now, students have already started working on the van. Berthium says their goal is to have it ready for the roads by April. Brittany Schaefer, Worcester News Tonight.
The Worcester Historical Museum announcing the recipient of this year's Harvey Ball Smile Award. The award is given to someone who has made a difference in the city of Worcester and helped people throughout the community smile. This year, the Harvey goes to Dale LePage. LePage is an award-winning entertainer and an advocate for the LGBTQ community who can be seen right here on Channel 193.
I've lived here since 1979, so anybody who's ever received the award to me has always been somebody in like really big business. I mean, big business. I just thought it was just like overwhelmingly nice of them to recognize the work I do for New England Pride TV and the LGBTQ community.
And the museum says the award goes to LePage to celebrate his love of entertainment, diversity, and all things Worcester.